Good morning, y'all, and thanks for coming back to Coffee with Joe. Today I'm actually joined by my wife, Vanessa.
Hello, good morning.
So today's topic seemed fitting to talk about how we implement our fitness lifestyle and balance it with our four kids, our demanding work schedules, the kids' demanding schedules, such as after school activities, and then just ensuring that we're present during these younger years with them. Our coffee of the day was actually gifted to us by one of our viewers, my mom, being that I don't even know how to say it, Tostal. This bag is actually from Colombia. She had gotten it from a colleague. So this is our coffee for today, as well as the featured mug of the day is something that was brought in from Colombia, Medellin to be exact. And then my mug of the day is going to be my Michael Myers. Have a knife day. Um, I am a huge Michael Myers fan. Well, first and foremost, just to really, set the tone with this is I'm a big Halloween fanatic. It's probably like my second favorite holiday throughout the year. The first one, of course, being Fourth of July. My second one being Halloween, and then my third one being Christmas. So with saying all of that to say that I love Halloween. Michael Myers is one of my favorite movie series out there. I've seen them all. The rendition by Rob Zombie. So yeah, this is very fitting. The outfit of the day is going to be my Iron Outlaws oversized men's tee. I'm a big fan of these oversized tees. You'll notice in the last two episodes that I do typically wear these a lot. They're just kind of loose. They're nice, especially during the lift. And then if you're just wearing them just for everyday activities, being going back and forth to the grocery store, running errands, spending time with the family, they're actually quite comfortable. I actually prefer these during the summer as well. One being because they're very loose, and here in Central Texas we have very humid days. So when you wear fitted clothing, it kind of feels like it's like sticking to you extra. So with these loose fitted clothings, I feel a lot more breeze. But the functionality of it, whenever you're working out, whenever you're lifting, or whenever you're training, if you train any combat sports, it's very nice and loose, so it allows for full range of motion. Specifically for boxing, you need to have full range of motion for your shoulders. Nothing needs to be restricted, and I feel like I get that from these shirts. Um, my shorts today are going to be Fabletics. My wife got me into Fabletics a long time ago. I recently had gotten these actually for Father's Day.
Yeah,
It was
that's
Father's Day. So thanks, babe. So I wanted to have my wife on the show today because I feel like a lot of times when explaining like a fitness lifestyle and stuff, you typically only hear it from one person of the many inside of a family. So with my wife being here, I thought it would be great for us to kind of divulge how we fit this in. We do have a very demanding schedule. We do have young aged kids, specifically our toddler, who I had mentioned is going on full blown sleep regression. We have our 5-year old daughter who, is just very, very active, loves to be with us.
yes,
It, we call her our little shadow.
yes.
And then, of course, obviously, we have our teenagers. Our teenagers are so independent and ready to take on the world, but nonetheless, they do still require parents. So, wanted to talk about how we fit this into our schedule, and then also be honest in what it looks like to make adjustments, real time adjustments. I, for one, have had to make some adjustments this week, being that the kids had their first week back at school. We're still, as parents, on this summer schedule where it's okay if the kids go to sleep a little late. It's okay if we don't wake up super early in the morning because we don't have to be up extra early to get them to school, get them ready, so on and so forth. And what I mean by that is typically for my workouts, I do like to do them in the morning. With that being said, it's usually about 5 a.m. or sometimes 6 a.m. that I wake myself up, drink some water, come out here, get stretched, get warmed up, and have my workout started. So if I'm waking up at 5, workout usually starts 5:30. If I'm waking up at 5:30, workout starting at 6. And you get the idea. If I wake up at 6 a.m., then my workout usually starts at 6:30. Now, the reason that's not feasible during back to school season, or being in school for that matter, is that I have to wake up essentially an hour earlier so that I can have that 30-minute window to get up, brush my teeth, get dressed, come out here, stretch, etc. I have to have that 30-minute window, and in order to ensure I get that and still get a lift out here, I have to wake up exponentially earlier. And again, we're still on back to school mode, but also still the mind of summer vacation and it being a little more forgiving. So the workouts this week have been a little bit out of the norm, making small adjustments. Yesterday, for instance, I was able to work out, but it wasn't until about 6 p.m. Yesterday. So I wanted to talk about what that looks like for us, how we make these adjustments, and some of our goals and whatnot that we feel we want within this fitness lifestyle, if you will. So first, I feel it fitting to provide an introduction to my wife. My wife is amazing. She is originally born and raised in El Paso, Texas. She was raised by her mom and has 3 siblings that I love to death. I have a very healthy, but also, funny enough, unhealthy relationship with my brother-in-laws. Not anything bad, it's just that when we get together, we have such a great time. We go golfing, we, go to some of the local bars there, we eat junk, we just have a really great time. And, every time we go out there, we try to make it a point to be there for an extended period of time. I feel like no matter what, it just doesn't ever feel like enough time as I'm leaving and saying goodbye to my to my brother-in-laws. I love those guys to death, and even my sister-in-law. She is just salt of the earth person, very sweet woman. I know that she had a big role in my wife's upbringing, setting the example for what it means to be a present parent, a present mother, what it means to raise a boy and a girl, what it means to be a wife, what it means to be a good partner, what it means to lean on your husband. My sister-in-law really set the example for my wife, and I see that a lot because, getting to know my sister-in-law over the years, especially in the beginning, knowing how my wife treats me, and then seeing it happen in real time from the outside looking in with the way that she runs her household and whatnot. So, very beautiful people, but again, my wife, born and raised in El Paso, went to El Paso Community College, graduated, and then transferred to the University of Texas, El Paso, also known as UTEP. So she is a minors. All right, that's the
Yes.
Pick'em. Is that?
Picks up.
Oh, picks up. So I didn't go to college. So barely made it out of high school. um, so with that, my wife then transitioned from El Paso. She wanted to start her own life, moved to San Antonio all by herself, got a job there, got a career, worked for a company that eventually relocated her from San Antonio after a few years to the Austin area. Hence where I come in. When my wife and I met, she very career motivated, not that she isn't still, but very career motivated. And I think one of the things that we found a lot of common ground on is that, we love food. We love being pretty active. We loved being spontaneous. We loved being outside and exploring. We loved the relationships that we had with our friends. We loved spending time with them. We loved sports. And then one of the things that kind of drew us together was that we had an appreciation for fitness. Now, again, if you remember in episode 1, I was still under my first impression of fitness, which was that I was able to drink, eat, not get a good sleep, etc. But it was okay as long as I woke up in the morning and got my workout in. So just to preface, I was not perfect. Not saying I'm perfect now with my workout, regimen and whatnot, but definitely wasn't perfect then. So I want to give my wife the floor and an opportunity to kind of discuss some things in regards to fitness. And I think the biggest question is, in my first episode, I had talked about what fitness looked like for me at the beginning of my journey and how it's changed, why it made a change. So if you don't mind, I know one of the things I thought was really cool was that when you were in San Antonio, you were preparing for some sort of marathon or something, or a run?
Yes, so I didn't grow up around fitness. I actually got introduced to it by my roommate at the time, Melissa. She was the one that was into fitness, so she introduced it to me. We started going to the gym together, we got a trainer together. So that's how I got introduced to it. And, we decided to try Gold's Gym and start working out. But at the same time, I had another friend that we liked running, and so she was like, "We should sign up for a 10K." And I didn't realize that it was 6.2 miles, and I definitely realized I was not a runner naturally. So I did end up, training for it for a while. I trained for it for months, and up till the week of the race. It was in December. Up to the week of the race, I got sick really bad. Felt like cold flu, and I just could not do the run. So I think that's the part that was really the hardest part for me, was not being able to do it. That's why 7-8 years later is when we ended up doing the 10K, and it's something that I had always wanted to do. So I was able to check that off my bucket list.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was cool. And I think 2023 or four,
Mm-hmm.
she'd expressed that she'd always wanted to do a 10K, or at least an extended run, if you will. And the opportunity came up for the Cap Metro 10K, located in the heart of Austin, and we both signed up for it. Had a good time. I will say that finding out now. The significance that milestone that it held for her. So that's really really cool. We had a great time. I mean, we had a lot of fun, man.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot
It
of
was a
fun.
really good experience.
What would you say your first introduction to fitness was like, and what you did then, like what your regiment was then? Like, for instance, for me, my whole idea was just coming in, working out hard, and then that was it. If anything, I could almost say it was unscheduled. Like, now I have specific days that I work on specific muscle groups, whereas before I would just go in and lift whatever I felt like lifting. So has your fitness journey changed or evolved,
Oh
or
yeah.
adjusted in any way?
Oh yeah, for sure, in every way. I think when I first started out, I didn't know what I was doing, and I think that's why I worked out with Melissa a lot, because she knew what she was doing. But even then, we would get a trainer, and I think the trainer definitely helped. It was just one that they give you a workout. It's not like they're physically here. So I think that's kind of how I got introduced to it. So we would just kind of look up the workouts and kind of try to do those. So it was just very unscheduled. I didn't know what I was doing at all. So I think that was the hardest part. And then the food was another thing too. He gave us some tips, like, hey, this is like chicken and rice, vegetables, certain vegetables to use. So, no salt. But we really didn't watch our fat content. It was just carbs, and protein really wasn't a big thing. Like, hey, you need to hit your protein. Like, we had no idea what we were doing. So I think looking back now to see how far I've come, it's remarkable.
What would you say is like the biggest difference between having um, a fitness life prior to kids, and then the difference now having a fitness life with kids, especially small aged kids?
I mean, I think there's parts are harder. Of course, before kids, you have more time. You have definitely more time. It's more scheduled. You're not in a rush, or, you have the energy. You're not as tired, So with kids, it's definitely a little bit harder, because, you can have a plan like, hey, I'm gonna get up at this time and work out, but then your toddler ends up being up all night, or your toddler ends up getting sick, or your daughter ends up in the bed with you, and she ends up coming to work out with you. So it's definitely having to kind of just work that out, and seeing, hey, no matter what, I need to get a workout in. If it's them with us, if it's me later on, if it's just 30 minutes instead of an hour. I think that's been the biggest adjustment from having kids before kids and now with kids.
So I feel like I have to ask, what is your favorite workout day? And what I mean by that is, for instance, me, I fall into the category of a stereotypical man. For me, my favorite workout is going to be chest and triceps. I unfortunately fall into the category of being a stereotype. I love having a big chest. I love having nice tricep muscles. So that's my favorite one. So what would you say is your favorite workout group?
Stereotypical for women, legs and glutes, of course. I think that's definitely my favorite. My upper body is my weakness, and so I feel like those are the ones that I dread doing, especially by myself. That's why I like working out with you, those body parts, because I feel like I definitely your guidance definitely helps me. If not, I'm like I have no idea what to do.
Yeah, as you can see, legs are usually neglected. It's a ongoing joke. I actually have very strong legs, just from grappling, jujitsu, boxing,
Yes.
running, and then my job as well. I'm up and down ladders all day, sometimes with equipment and whatnot. So it's like weighted elevation or whatever. Um, and but for whatever reason, skinny legs. So chicken. Uh, I guess what I would like to know, and that I think would be relatable for our viewers, would be, um, what do you feel, or how do you feel? I guess maybe beginning, maybe now, or maybe in the middle. How did it feel to work out with your partner? Because I, for one, am new to, even at the time when we were dating before we got married, to exercising with my partner at the time, with my significant other, or be it a girlfriend. This was actually my first time in a relationship where we shared fitness together, because I remember early on we would train together at Gold's Gym. We had the apartment in South Austin that we would sometimes go to their amenity center and work out together. Um, that was a first for me. Um, has there been a difference in that? I feel like there is kind of a difference, in my opinion, working out with friends, like having a workout buddy. Like, you mentioned you worked out with Melissa quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this Melissa Ray's wife?
Yes.
Melissa is awesome, but she's even better because she has this really cool husband named Ray. He is so freaking cool. We are We can't be left unsupervised for too long.
No. No. No, you guys can't.
We have a good time. Shout out my boy Ray. Love that guy so freaking much. He is also a huge fitness fanatic, big time jiu-jitsu practitioner. Also has a boxing background, and has power lifted before. What is it, bodybuilding? He did a bodybuilding show
I
too.
think he did.
Yeah, he's done some bodybuilding competitions. So this guy is like awesome when it comes to that. So yeah, Melissa's pretty cool, but her husband, on the other hand, guy's awesome. So yeah, getting back to the question, do you feel like there's any kind of, I don't know, like a different feeling to it? Is there any intimidation? Is there any, like, anything?
I feel at first there was intimidation, just because I felt like I said before, I didn't know what I was doing. But as we've worked out more together, I feel like I wouldn't want it any other way. I feel like I would definitely rather work out with you than with a friend. I feel especially since, it's one, become part of our life, and two, it's awesome to see you have the same goals with your partner and trying to achieve those goals together. And I think there's no better feeling than that.
For sure. I'm really big on lifting or fitness just in general, be it if you're a runner, or you lift, or you train some kind of sport or a combat sport. I'm really big on it being a community. I have had a lot of dads. I like to be pretty active with other dads who have a somewhat similar life as me, being that they have kids, being that they own businesses, being that they have a very demanding schedule. So I actually do like to host, having a dad over here, having friends over here. to work out with me. Recently I had a friend, Justin Wilkins, who owns an electrical company. I've had, my friend Danny Roberts, who owns a pest control company. I've had my friend Dalton Irwin, who owns a company as well, actually an electric company. I must love electricians. So yeah, I do like that, but I think there's something to be said. My opinion of this is that as much as I enjoy having a workout buddy from time to time, I feel like it's almost better with my spouse being involved because, and this is just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like the accountability level gets taken to a whole other level. Being that like if it's a workout friend, you're going to see them for just that brief second of time out of your day. Like, hey, we're going to meet up at the gym or whatever, somebody's house who has home gym equipment, and we're going to work out. And then after that, that's it, right? But I feel like with your spouse, the accountability doesn't end when the workout ends. We're going to see each other immediately afterwards. We sleep in the same bed. We're going to make dinner together. The accountability is there 24/7. So I almost feel like for me, it challenges me more to make sure that I'm not just, setting the example here, but also inside. And I feel like you also hold me accountable and I hold you accountable.
Yes. Yes, for sure. And also, too, I mean, especially when our kids are out here and they see us working out together, I think that's probably the thing I love the most is we're setting that example for them because, as kids, they don't do what you say, they do what they see. And so them seeing us together working out, I've seen it in Evelyn. She wants to work out all the time. She wants to be active. She wants to be fit. And it's because she's seen not just mom, but she's seen dad together too. Separately, she's seen us, work out separately, but she's also seen us work out together. She's here with us a lot of the time. So I definitely, agree with you that accountability, I mean, especially after, some people will work out and then go in and not eat the best, breakfast or protein after. And I feel like that's definitely where you said we hold each other accountable, like, hey, let's make sure we eat good. Let's make sure we hit our water intake, our protein, like let's eat the healthy meal. So I think that's definitely one of the biggest perks of, working out with your partner and you both, wanting the same thing.
For sure. Yeah, side note, one of my favorite workout partners is going to be my daughter. Yesterday, being that I didn't get to work out until 6 o'clock, we're home. All the kids are now home from school. And, after communicating with my wife, like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and work out if you're good with that, obviously at 6 p.m. And, primetime family time, if you will. But yeah, I came out here, started working out, and my daughter, quickly followed, and she's in here with me, and she's doing her little workout while I'm doing mine. We're posing in front of the mirror, taking pictures together. But I think it's great because in a moment that could be perceived as being selfish, it actually ends up being an opportunity to bond with my daughter, kind of show her a healthier option or a healthier outlook, work out together, sweat together, and have our cute little conversations. Again, my daughter's 5. She's got a very, very big voice, a lot of personality, but the one thing I love about my daughter is that she's very opinionated, not in a funny way. It can be funny sometimes. But she says what she means, and she means what she feels in here, and I think it's really cool to have like some real conversations with my daughter out here while we're working out and doing something together. So my next question is going to be, only because I've talked to other people that I won't name for the sake of in case you guys hear this. I definitely don't want to put anybody on the spot or talk about anybody else's business, but is there any point in time where maybe you feel any kind of like, I guess maybe down on yourself or more superior or anything like that when we're working out together? Like, for instance, I know when we work out legs together, you can usually do a little bit more than me when it comes to legs. Like, your legs are just a lot more toned and more used to working them out or exercising them versus mine. But then granted, in the same time, like, I know that my chest is more developed. My upper body is more developed, and I can usually do a lot more workload. Is there any thoughts or feelings that go behind that, or?
For me, no. I think that's kind of where the intimidation comes from because I know, like, for upper body, I can't really, you know, push a lot of weight or pull a lot of weight versus you, you know. So I think that's the part that the intimidation comes from. But, you know, I think that has definitely gone away the more that we've worked out together. I think that's, you know, everyone goes into working out feeling like, hey, they might get judged at some point, especially, and I know a lot of people feel that when they go into like a gym, but it's definitely in the same way like when you work out with someone, you know, especially your spouse, you know, you don't want to mess up or, you know, not have the right form or, you know, not be able to lift a lot, you know, it's definitely, I feel like, a place of vulnerability. So I definitely don't feel any like superiority in any way like that, but I feel like that's kind of where we kind of have to like understand like, hey, like, he's, you know, men have stronger upper bodies and women have stronger lower bodies. So I think that's where that patience and understanding comes from.
Yeah, I know that I had mentioned previously before that a lot of the stuff that I do is for me, my physique, my workouts, etc. And then I know that in the first episode I had mentioned that, you know, we're all on our own path, our own journey. You know, your competition is never the person next to you; it should be yourself.
Right.
Um, so I definitely feel like, for me, you know, sharing that same thing, going to the gym, before, you know, having the home gym equipment and whatnot. I know that I definitely felt some intimidation being around other people, you know, seeing what they can lift, seeing what they can do, having a workout buddy and them just being exponentially better than me, in terms of being able to lift more, lift heavier, better form. I know that's definitely probably one of the biggest vulnerable moments is,
Yes.
you know, finding out in real time you've been doing a workout wrong for forever, you know, and gym bro culture, I feel is a lot more unforgiving than maybe it is amongst women because,
Yes.
gosh, I have been called an idiot I don't know how many times when it comes to, you know, working out with a friend and finding out I've been doing something wrong. I have a friend of mine who is relentless on telling me if I'm doing bad form, and they use the words like "Jesus, Joe," or "You freaking idiot," uh, and I will name that little shit. His name is JB. He's terrible. No, my fitness journey is definitely all thanks to my friend JB who got me started. Um, you know, super awesome guy, has helped me a lot, but for that kid having the same stature as a Oompa Loompa, this guy talks shit like he is 7'2", man. Um, I love to hate him. Honestly, he's probably one of like the few friends that I've had where like I've thought about punching him at least twice a week. But I can never punch him. I love that guy so much. He's my little fella. Oh man. Um, I guess my next question would be, what do you like most whenever we work out together? I know sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. I know sometimes,
Yes.
you know, we kind of divide and conquer when it comes to the kids. She's usually a little bit more hands on with our toddler. And also, when it comes to getting ready for school and whatnot, she usually does a little bit more with our daughter. Whereas I handle the teens that we have, being that they go to different schools, they obviously have different wake up times, etc.
Yes.
But what would you say you like the most, or that you admire the most, or that you look forward to the most when we are able to work out together?
I'd really say spending time together. I think with how busy we are, sometimes, you know, we get into the movement of things where it's just like we're passing by, you know, and I feel like that time is, you know, us investing into ourselves but investing into each other. And I love spending that time together because it's a time where we get to encourage each other, push each other to do better, to, hey, get more reps in, or hey, you can do it, you can lift this weight, you know. So I definitely think that has been my favorite part of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then I guess if you get used to working out, you know, together with me, um, how is there any difference, or is there any, you know, mind switch or anything you're able to implement whenever that opportunity is just not there and you have to work out by yourself?
No, not really. I mean, I definitely feel like there's certain parts that I want to work out, certain body parts. So I feel like that gives me the opportunity to be like, okay, like you can do this. What do you want to focus on today? What are some exercises that, you have taught me or that I remember doing when I did work out. So I think that's definitely, it's harder for me to kind of focus and be more on like a consistent schedule or pace. That's why I do like working out with you, because I know you're very routine and I'm not as routine as you. But I think that's one of your best qualities, and it's something that I, want to implement more in my life as well.
And I know that I had mentioned previously that, working out for me or being fit, it's definitely for me. It's helped me with my mental, uh, it's given me confidence, confidence in the right places. Obviously in the last episode I had said, thank God I didn't have these abs when I was in high school because I just would not have had the maturity level to handle it whatsoever. But no, as a a father, as a I'm in my mid 30s, literally in my mid 30s, um, getting close to 36. One of the things it's provided me is confidence, confidence within myself, my capability. All this has really been for me. I'm not in competition with anybody else, or I'm not trying to look like anybody else. But one of the things it's done for me is help me with my mental. Um, is there anything it does for you, either mentally or with your self confidence, or as a mom or anything like that? Like is lifting associated with that whatsoever? Does it provide you an outlet essentially?
Oh yes, for sure, definitely for sure. So I think as a mom, especially after having kids, your body isn't the same, and you do have that mom guilt. Like, I'm taking time away from my kids, but at the same time, it's for you. You need to fill your own cup as well, so that you can be a better mom, you can be a better wife, and it's definitely an outlet with kids, work, just everything we have going on. Like, it can be stressful. Life is lifing, and you do need that outlet. Some people have different outlets. Some people drink, some people go out, some people just do different things. So I think working out, it definitely gives you endorphins. It definitely helps your mood. You definitely feel better. I don't think not one person has regretted a workout, so and
Unless it's a leg day.
yes, but I think too, it's a chance to show our daughter that it's okay to spend time for yourself too. That just because you have kids doesn't mean you can't still have goals. That you still can't work out. So I think that's definitely been a big motivator. She's the only girl, so I think that's definitely a big motivator. Is I want her to know that it's okay. It's okay to focus on you for a little bit. Even more if she works out with us or works out with me. I think that's the best part is she gets to see that firsthand.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said, and a small snippet of what you said, being that you're setting the example for our daughter. I feel like that is kind of big because, in a way, when I'm lifting and stuff, I'm trying. I want to set the example for my sons. Being that they're going to be men in society, husbands one day. Like, I want to ensure that I'm implementing to them that, hey, this is what husbands do. This is what fathers do. Like, we come out here and we take our health and our fitness seriously. Now, again, um, that is not to say that that's what it should be. I have my own views and opinions on what I feel like I should be able to do as a man, um, but that's my view and my view only. That is not to enforce on anybody else. Uh, but I do like to set the example for my sons that, hey, this is what we do. This is what me as a man does, and this is what I hope you will do as well. So I do like to set the example. So I feel like, in a way, you're setting the example for our daughter, so that one day, in her late 30s, when she begins to date, she'll know that working out is part of a normal routine. This is how a mom does it. This is how a wife does it, etc. So I feel like, in a way, we kind of set the example, and we lead by example as far as, you know, working out and whatnot, what it looks like as a woman and what it looks like as a man.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yes, and I definitely think habits start when they're young. Definitely have noticed that with things that we've taught Evelyn and at a young age, and I see that now. So I definitely think habits start at a young age.
Yeah. Well, we are getting kind of close to the end of our episode, so I feel like it is worth an honorable mention. This coffee is really, really good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it at our local market, being that it is imported from Colombia. The majority of this bag is in its native language, so I don't know if it's a dark roast or whatever. I can tell you it tastes like jet fuel. Good, but I'll definitely be pretty energized for the rest of the day. So yeah, this is super good. I don't know how easily accessible it is to find, but it's definitely really, really good. Um, with that, I want to close with some final thoughts or some closing thoughts, if you will. Uh, like I've mentioned before, we don't believe in enforcing our views and beliefs on anybody else. We're not saying that this is the way that a family should be. I think sometimes I may use some terminology of like I am setting the example for my kids and whatnot. This is the way that I believe for my family is important. Um, so with that being said, whatever life you live, that's your life, and as long as your kids are happy, your spouse is happy, you're present, you're active, then that's all that really ultimately matters. So again, these are our views, these are our beliefs, and we wholeheartedly believe in it. It has worked for us. It has brought us closer together as a family. It's brought us closer together as husband and wife. In a lot of ways, when we're able to work it out here, it's kind of like having a date. We're out here, we're having fun, we joke, we talk about workout, we talk about our day. We're experiencing something together. We're also going through the suck together. You know, so it's just an opportunity for us to bond. But this is what's important to us, and it's what's worked for us. So if you're not already implementing it, or if you're not working out with your spouse, I'd say give it a try. I'd say, why not? Have fun, be vulnerable together, embrace something that sucks for a little bit together. Go through the diet together, go through everything together. It just brings you that much more closer. And who would be opposed to having an opportunity to be more intimate with your spouse? Intimacy doesn't just begin and end in the bedroom. It goes on throughout the day. And so why not have this experience together? So if you aren't already trying it, I would challenge you to, implement it, give it a shot. Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts or?
No, just thanks for having me. I really enjoyed this with you. Another thing I enjoy doing with you. So I definitely want to say thank you. But yeah, definitely try it. Try different things. We've gone to the gym together. We do walks together. We've worked out early in the morning. We've worked out in the evening. We've tried different diets together. So I definitely just say try different things to see what works for you, what works for your family. But I think there is no better thing than, trying to, motivate each other, encourage each other to have a better life so that you guys can live long together for your families, for your kids. So, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know in the comments what you would like to talk about next, or what you would like for me to discuss or divulge. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful week. Don't work too hard, and we will see you on the next one.